and raised in Coburn, Virginia in 1929, along with older brother Jim. Would you tell us what it was like hearing your grandfather's music and rich history in country music?
Oh, it was a lot different back then than it is now. So I used to visit my grandfather's house a lot. That's the contact we had. I would just go visit. He was sort of crippled. I was sort of been. I wasn't really doing the music. I was just working on the farm back then, and we'd go over to his house, and that's where my contact I had with him was just going to his house, and he'd get his fiddle out and play something for me, and let me play a little bit, and things like that, you know.
Yes.
He was sort of crippled. His legs wasn't working too good for him, and he stays home all the time, and he just sit by his window and playing, and you hear his fiddle all over the countryside over there where he lived.
Yes.
It's a place called Castle Holland.
Okay.
Where his home was. And I was hoping someday I'd get to go back over to check on the place, but they did a lot of coal stripping, and I guess they moved out far. I wouldn't recognize anything like I did back when I was growing up.
Yes. And he was part of the 1925 Bristol, Tennessee recordings, I understand.
Yes, he wasn't really a professional musician for us that's traveling with a band and everything. He's got a band together from the newspaper, and I guess his transportation was by Greyhound bus.
Oh, yeah.
To get to Bristol was about, I guess it's 40 or 50 miles from where he grew up, yeah.
Okay. And you also just did a recording with the very same fiddle, I understand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I still got the fiddle, and
Yes.
I acquired it from my uncle, the last uncle in my grandfather's family.
Okay.
And he had the fiddle, and it needed some work done on it, so I got it from him, and it fixed up would play, and Brad plays it really thinks it's a good fiddle. It's a
Yes.
copy of Stradivarius, you know.
Okay.
I don't know, he's been in the McReynolds family for about 200 years altogether.
Is that right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you and Jim got started performing in 1947 around the hometown of Coburn.
Yeah.
What was those early years like?
Oh, it was different back then. We had a lot of the music, as far as somebody playing professionally. Most of the professional music came from the people going to everybody's house on the weekend and having music and dancing, and
It was real.
yeah, it was the real thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, it was. I can remember all of it pretty much, but all the music was done in the wintertime. It was around the fireplace and inside the house, and in the summertime, when it was warmer, we'd have all the music out on the front porch.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I used to have a lot of music and wasn't much singing going on. It was more or less just fiddle playing and square dancing and stuff like that, you know.
I see.
The old time way.
Okay. And you served in the Korean War along with Charlie Louvin.
Yes, I went to the Korean War in I think it was 52, I think it was.
Yes.
Okay. Hard to remember those exact dates, but
yeah.
I got to Korea and I was stationed within I guess a couple hundred yards from where Charlie Louvin was. I found out that there was a guy that worked on the Grand Ole Opry, was in the Army unit from the Grand Ole Opry.
Yes.
That's how I got to meet him.
Okay.
But we got to be 3,000 miles from home before we got to know each other.
Is that right? Yes.
And we got to playing together a little bit, and we had a little band together. I was working with the Special Services, and was taking doing a lot of shows from different people, and in Hollywood would come over and I was chauffeuring the company commander around. I was the Jeep driver for the Special Service.
Yes.
Commander. I mean the major he was in charge of doing all the shows from over there.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of interesting people that they came over to do shows over
right?
and over. Yes, really. While I was there,
Yes.
I spent a year within about, I guess I was probably 50, 60 miles from the front lines, and we had a lot of interesting people that came over there. But it was Raymond Barrow, and
Raymond Barrow, yes.
he was the guy that did the Orange Side.
Oh, yes.
I married. He came over a couple times, and I had the pleasure of driving around Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, is that right? Yes.
Her and Joe DiMaggio got married.
Yes.
They went to Japan, and she came to Korea and did some shows over there, and I happened to be the Jeep driver that drove her around quite a bit.
Amazing, yes. What was she like?
Oh, she was nice, yeah.
Yes, yes.
It was a little depressing. I had just got married recently before I went to Korea, and I was really pretty depressed being in a country like that, and just being being married that early, and then I had to go to Korea,
Yeah.
and so I wasn't really interested in that much who was what.
Exactly, I understand that, yes. So it was in 1964 that you and Brother Jim first came on to the Grand Ole Opry. What was the Opry like back then?
Oh, it was a lot different back then than it has been. I guess, well, the last year or so, I haven't been doing the Opry anyway.
Yeah.
With all the artists that was on it, so I hadn't been on the Opry now in close to a year.
Is that right? Yes, yes, I know that. And
So,
it's sure different times nowadays.
Yeah, A lot of most people that we knew back then is passed on, and but I'm thankful that I'm still around. And I said, I told the other day, I said, I'm glad that I got to be the oldest member on the Grand Ole Opry. They're still there.
Yes.
So I spent 57 years, I guess.
57, yes.
Been on the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah, okay.
But it's an interesting show. It always has been.
It sure has. And growing up, I remember listening to you guys play your bluegrass, and it really brings back a lot of memories. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, it's a lot different nowadays than it is back then.
Exactly.
When we were there, it meant so much to be a part of a show that popular at that time. The time we went there, when they had a lot of different people that just passed on anymore.
If I may ask, Jesse, was people more closer to each other back then in the music business?
Oh yeah. It was more or less a family type show. Everybody was always checking on each other, how they're doing and everything. But the last few years, they got to where all the superstars would come in and shut their dressing room doors and never contact anybody hardly, except just the people that they really worked with.
Is that right? Yes.
Yeah. Roy Acuff used to be one of the nicest people that we knew. I would go down the hallway sometimes, and he would, if I'd pass by his room, I wouldn't go in and speak to him. He'd holler at me. He'd say, "Did you come in and say hello?"
Yes.
Just for someone with the popularity that he had back then, well.
Yes.
There was a lot of people like that. It was really a family type. People get along with each other.
Exactly. And that's what's missing in today's world, I think, Jesse, for sure.
Oh yeah. It's a lot different now than it was back then. So
exactly.
I don't know. They're still doing the Opry with just a couple of people, but the main.
Yeah, but it's not like before. No.
Stars that was there before. Most of them are passed on now already.
Yes, that's true. So let me ask you about an album you recorded of truck driving songs with Jim, titled "Diesel on My Tail."
Oh yeah, I remember I was Billy Sherrill. He was a big producer there. He helped me the guy that who was producing us at that time, and he brought that song to us, and he said, I think you ought to do this song. And I didn't think that much about it. I said, well, it's another truck driving song, and I said, I'd rather write something about a Greyhound bus ride or something. He said, no, I think this song would be a hit if you want to do it. So I said, well, we'll do it a try. Because back then there were a lot of big stars doing a lot of big records. You know.
That's for sure. Yes.
And we were doing bluegrass music, and bluegrass at that time wasn't that popular as far as radio play. And we were trying to do radio shows with a lot of artists that was Bill Anderson and people like that, and
the up and comers at the time. Yes.
And we would do a lot of package shows, which was sponsored by Martha White Mills. Martha White was one of the main sponsors at the Grand Ole Opry. That's how we got to be there, because they were trying to start. They wanted to find a band that in southern Georgia. That's where we were living at that time, and he was trying to find someone to advertise for Martha White in that part of the country. And the guy came down and had a meeting with us, and they brought the manager of Martha White down and met us and everything, and they were this strictly, I guess, some of the best backers that we ever had in the music.
Is that right? Yes, yes.
Martha White Mills, they had Flat and Scruggs.
Yes, for sure.
Doing the Opry, and they said, well, we would like to sponsor y'all in, we had some TV shows at that time in Florida and South Georgia and Alabama. We was working about 4 or 5 TV shows in different towns every week down there. Mm-hmm. And we just had to be at the right place at the right time when they were looking for someone like that. Anyway, they said they wanted to bring us to the Grand Ole Opry and let us be on the Opry when Flat and Scruggs couldn't be there because they was they was on the road a lot.
Oh yes, yes.
And they had to miss the Opry quite a bit. So everything fell in place, and we was, I guess, the secondary band to be at the Grand Ole Opry for Martha White at that time.
Okay. Another song I would like to ask you about, we touched on the first time we interviewed, was the Cotton Mill Man.
Oh yes, we had a lot, well, not a lot, but quite a bit of controversy over that tune, because we were working in Alabama and South Georgia and North Florida at that time, and there was a lot of cotton mills was going on at that time in that area, and we had that line in that song about, Lord, don't let my son grow up to be a sweaty cotton mill man.
Yes.
And a lot of the radio station managers started getting a lot of slack from the cotton mill workers about us singing that song, putting down the cotton mill workers. To them, it was sort of putting it down, not building it up. So we had to live with that for a while.
Yes.
Because they said they were always trying to build up the cotton mill workers and come out and had a sort of a hit song going with that line in it, and there was a lot of radio stations would ban that song.
Okay.
They wouldn't play it because it had that line in there about us putting the cotton mill workers down, you know. So, but it was still a pretty good song for us.
It sure was.
I was surprised that when they brought that song for us to do, Jim came to my house and he said, I think we're going to do this song, and we were recording for Epic Records at that time, and Billy Sherrill, our producer, he said, yeah, I think it would be a pretty big song for you.
Yes.
So it was it's sort of a task to get a lot of people interested in doing something that I hadn't thought that much about the certain lines in the song at that time, but a lot of radio stations would ban it and wouldn't play it because of the controversy they had from the
cotton mills. yeah.
From the cotton mill people, yeah.
And in recent years, since Jim has passed away, you have recorded some rock and roll bluegrass style songs, including a tribute to the Grateful Dead.
Oh yes, I got to know some of the people who worked with Jerry Garcia. I found out Jerry Garcia used to come from California to Tennessee and bring a tape recorder and record our TV shows from a hotel room.
Oh yeah.
And that's so he'd have some of these shows to learn from. He was a fan of Jim and Jesse, and I didn't know at the time that he'd follow us around to shows we was doing at that time, which we were working a lot of just regular concerts, you know, at music parks and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out he would come up and buy pictures and everything like that, and he was too backwards to talk to us very much, you know.
Oh yes.
I guess he looked at us like we were superstars.
Yes.
That's before he started his band, and I found out later that we did do some shows when the Grateful Dead first started their band. We did some shows in California, and I found some papers, I guess, in the last couple of years that we did work some shows on the same shows that Jerry Garcia was just starting out as the Grateful Dead at that time.
Is that right? Yes. Yes.
So I guess I said I really don't remember ever meeting him personally, but I must have, because we did work on the same shows sometimes with a lot of different people.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And I found out probably 40, 50 years later that they happened to be one of the bands that we did work with on some festivals in California.
Yes. Yes.
So I wish I would had to get to meet Gary on certain occasions, but I guess it never did happen because we were in Tennessee and he was in California.
I say yes. 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 Okay.
But they did follow us on our TV shows, and he'd bring a tape recorder and go to a motel and plug his recorder in and tape our TV shows all the time, so we'd have that as souvenirs.
Amazing, you know? Yes. And you had mentioned Berry Picking in the Country by Chuck Berry, the album you did with tribute to him. Would you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, Billy Sherrill, our producer of the record company, and he turned out to be one of the most popular producers that we had. But we were one of the first artists that he recorded. Then he had Tammy Wynette with Apartment Number 9. That's where he really broke into the recording business. And he just come to us one day, and somebody had talked to him about us doing a tribute to Chuck Berry, doing his songs, you know. And I didn't know that these people had talked to Flat and Scruggs about doing the same thing.
Oh yes.
And as it happened, I didn't know that this was going on when we went and done this album, and we had a record. I think it was Johnny B. Good. We were going to put out. Or it was that one or Memphis one. I don't remember which one it was now. But they had a record scheduled to come out at a certain time, and I didn't know that Flat and Scruggs had done the same thing with for the same record company, and we had a little controversy there. Like they wanted to put our record out at the same time Flat Scrub put theirs out, and they wanted to put out something else on us and cancel our record release, and Joe Taylor was our manager at the time of our bookings and everything. Well, he said, well, you're going to put out Jim and Jesse on this album, or they won't record for your record company anymore.
Yes.
So after they talked this over and argued about it, they decided to put both our records out at the same time on the same record label. So that's how that happened. The controversy did. So we sort of killed each other for it having a hit record with this one particular song.
Yes.
But it was it got a little complicated there for a while. Both of us was on the Vandal Opry, trying to push the same song at the same time.
I can see that. Yes.
The guy that managed the Opry, he sort of put him in a bind, but he did come to us and he said, "I want to do your song of Chuck Berry. Any time you're on the Opry," he said, "you go ahead and do it, no matter who does it." So we were all doing the same song at the same time, so we in competition with each other, whether we wanted to or not.
I see. Okay.
So we finally got through it all right, but it was a little complicated
at first. Yeah.
Both working for the same record company and having the same song come out at the same time. So I done it in the best way I could to try to be accepted by all people, you know.
And you have been accepted up here in Canada, I'll tell you that, Jesse.
Yes, we've always had a lot of good fans in Canada. I think we had our own Bluegrass festival in Kingston.
Oh yes, that's where we are. Yes.
For about 4 or 5 years, we played with in the guy's sort of his backyard. He had a lot of land there in Kingston, and we did a Bluegrass festival there. We had a lot of people that we booked from America up there, like Bill Monroe and that's quite a few of the other Bluegrass bands from America. We had them come up and help us do this festival every year.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for being on the show today, Jesse, and may God bless you, and hopefully we'll be able to do it again sometime.
Well, I sure appreciate you calling, and I just want to say hi to everybody, and thank you for accepting my music and being so kind to me, and it's been a good run, because I hope I'll still be around and still doing some shows somewhere. I don't do too many shows anymore. I just when you get to be 91, I guess it's time to think about where we're going from here. You know.
Yes. Well,
I'm just thankful I'm still around and able to. I'm still working on my mandolin. I'm trying to do some mandolin tunes
yes.
And still, I hope I can do some more recording, you know, and maybe if I keep my health up and everything, I'll be able to do some shows sometime too.
Well, we'd hope to hear some more music from you there, Jesse. Happy early birthday, and God bless you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
You take care now.
God bless you. Bye-bye.